We can talk now to Phill Hyde. And Phill, the military affiliations, that's your bailiwick, I think.
Yes, and good to meet you, Richard, and
Hi.
thank you to everybody coming this evening to support our senior warden. It's a big role that Margaret's about to embark upon, and it's good to see you all out looking shiny, and special thanks to Vincent, because we had a bit of fun, I think it was last year, not last year, obviously, 3 years ago, at Mansion House. Yes, I'm fortunate to be looking after the military. It's part of the livery world that I really enjoy. It's a bonus, really, because when you first join the livery company, you don't realise how close we all are to our military.
What perhaps people don't know is that you are a pretty handy warrior yourself with a black belt in judo. I hope I'm not embarrassing you by bringing that up.
Well, you have embarrassed me, because I was pretty young at about 18, and now I'm approaching 70-something. If any of the young lads here and some of the new members, I hope you don't take that on board, might challenge me at one of the dinners if I get a bit naughty.
That would be very interesting. In some way, I feel an affinity, again, in this respect, as a leather seller. We have a relationship with the helicopter squadron. We have a relationship actually with the nuclear submarine in the Royal Navy, and then with a cavalry regiment in the army. And I know helicopters at RAF Benson, that's your department, isn't it, as light bunkers?
Yes, RAF Benson, we've had a couple of trips. It's a unique way to go up the Thames, I have to say. The Shard looks a lot more daunting when you're what looks like 6 foot away, but I'm sure it's more than that. But we had some good fun a couple of years ago on board. They look after us pretty well. And at the moment, they're looking after all of us pretty well, because they're very active with the COVID work that's going on in the background. We don't see them, but when you see NHS, you can see in the background a lot of our military helping out.
I just think they're also quite busy in Cornwall at the moment, hovering around, keeping an eye out for those who might be taking an unhealthy interest in the G7.
Well, you can definitely assume that they'll be trying to show off in front of the Americans and show them they're better than what they can do.
Hours of fun. Why that particular unit? Is it historic? Is there a particular link between you as lightmongers and the function of that
well, unit? I think some of our elder members here will know probably better than I. When I came along, we were already there, but to be associated with people such as Ian
McFadden.
McFadden, thank you. I forgot his name for a minute. The people that are so highly regarded in the RAF, to take the time to come and look after us and join our association have been, well, I found it quite overwhelming. And there's quite a few chaps here that have been to Windsor Castle when he was looking after Windsor Castle. But when you hear him, how he got to where he got to fly one of those jets, whatever they had in the Falklands, and he had to hop along from one country to another to get his plane on, ready to go. You suddenly look at this elderly chap and think, crikey, he really has done something a lot for us. It makes you proud to be associated.
I was sitting at a dinner once next to a chap who turned out to have been the captain of the submarine that sank the Belgrano, which led to all sorts of conversations, you can imagine. What about land forces? What's your relationship with the army?
Well, there's been a relationship with the flood lighting battalion. In the old days, you had the searchlight squadron, and they disbanded that. I can't think why, because with LEDs they could probably do a good job, but in those days they weren't LEDs, and technology took over, and they were swallowed up by 101, who specialise in bomb disposal. So our members have enjoyed some fun with them, because they all like to enjoy themselves, as you'd expect, but to see how they disarm a bomb in reality, have a go yourself, I have to say it's quite frightening. And I have a greatest respect for all those guys that do that. But that's how we managed to end up in the bomb disposal battalion.
Yes, not perhaps an invitation that one would readily accept, to go and spend a day with them as they go about their business. No. Interesting you bring up the searchlight thing. It just occurred to me today, it would have been the 100th birthday of the Duke of Edinburgh, who was a searchlight operator, I found out today, and in fact was mentioned in dispatches for heroic work with searchlights. I can't remember where, some terrible conflict. He, of course, is perhaps more readily associated with the Navy. And to coin a phrase, your most illustrious relationship is perhaps with the Navy, because you've bagged the Queen Elizabeth, haven't you? The most advanced, the most expensive ship that has ever sailed.
We were quite, well, I was personally overwhelmed when I received the letter confirming that we would be affiliated to such a great ship, and to be affiliated before it was even completed. So we had the opportunity to go and see her under construction, get to know the team there. And as you know, or you may not know, but we've had the captain, the first captain, was an honorary member of our company, a lightmonger, and now he's an admiral, because once you've been a captain of such a great ship, I think you go on to better things. In fact, we've got 3 honorary members, all belonging to that ship and associated with it.
I know that ship is out and about at the moment. I don't know if it's sea trials. I think it's past those, hasn't it? But it's certainly not at home at the moment. Will you get a chance to get on board when it returns?
Well, we're hoping for an invitation. It's been promised, but only for very good members of the Lightmongers are allowed to go on that. And I think there's certain disappointment that they weren't able to parade like their sister ship has today down at in Cornwall. You've got the other, we don't mention the name, taking its place there, showing off in front of the rest of the world.
Well, some are show ponies, others do the work, right?
Yes, indeed.
Will they ever let you have a go driving it, do you think?
I think that's definitely out of the question. And I think the way I was puffing and panting last time I was on board, the captain let me off and let me use his secret lift that goes from his personal cabin right way down to control centre. So I felt that was quite a privilege.
What a perk, isn't it? And really, Phill, can you tell us what's important about that, maintaining that relationship with these military units?
Well, the relationship with the livery and the city goes back an awful long time, because those that may not know that the city was a country all of its own, with its own supportive military, and it sort of goes on from there. But I was quite surprised that they're just as proud to be part of the City of London and the livery companies as we are to be proudly associated with them. There are certain things when you go and you meet these guys. I've never been called sir so many times. It's their whole respect of other people when they're on duty is quite amazing, and the British traditions are understated. If you could see them in action, it makes you feel very, very proud. Queen and country, as I am, and all our livery members feel the same. It's a bonus to be associated with these very capable chaps and girls.
Well, long may it continue. Thank you very much, Phill Hyde.